What's happening, gang? It's your boy Retro back again with another reaction video. Yeah. Today we got another huge update, guys. Clip we had to check out. This is old Joe Scarborough from MSNBC. Absolutely losing it once again, guys. He's screaming again, trying to get his point across. It's not working whatsoever, guys. MSNBC is at an all-time low after this clip with Joe Scarborough. He's absolutely, making them tank in viewership and make their ratings go down, guys. I'm excited to get to the clip, see exactly what's going on with Joe Scarborough, why he's going off once again. So we get straight to the clip and I'll get my thoughts on the back end of the video, guys. So definitely stick around to the end so I can get my thoughts on the back end. And also, YouTube pushes this video out. Definitely stick around until the end, you guys. But let's get straight to the clip. Before we do that, though, make sure you guys hit that like button for me and also hit that subscribe button, guys. We're on the road to the truth. Hop aboard for the journey. Let's get into it, y'all.
It's time for another episode of Empty and Emptier with MSNBC. Ratings crashing into the ground, but they are obsessed with Trump's polls. They should be obsessed with their own ratings. Welcome to Doug in Exile. This is where the happy patriots are. Once again, if I haven't told you thank you yet for subscribing, thank you. We're about to cross 460,000 subscribers, a new YouTube record for me on all of my history on YouTube. So that, again, I just got to say thank you. Let's watch painfully Joe Scarborough and poor Mika. We call them Screaming Joe, or the Morning Slow, or Snoring Joe. If you guys have another name for Morning Joe, let me know in the comments below. We might have to update our jokes.
Really tells the same story that we've been hearing over the past week or two, a tightening of the race. All four of the states within the margin of error. Donald Trump leads Georgia 51-45. That may be outside the margin of error.
He just said they're within the margin of error. That he goes, except for this one in Georgia, that one's maybe outside the margin of error. Yeah, get your facts straight.
Michigan 49-46. Again, those numbers in both of those states tightening up.
Tightening up, but not yet fully blending within the margin of error. But here's the key one. It's coming up, and it's Pennsylvania. My friends have said, watch Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is going to decide this election.
Wisconsin and Pennsylvania, dead heats, 48-48. So again, a tightening race.
This, I believe, is still part of the fallout for Trump, coming out soft on the pro-life issue, but I believe it will repair as the people who are neither Biden or Trump, or both Biden or Trump, the middle, I would say 4%, are going to decide this race.
We'd all be wise to essentially not really care that much about new polls unless they start to show a race that's outside the margin of error. Because my sense of this race is that all the data we have is that.
Now, hold on. Let's zoom in on the pillow. That's a Wu-Tang Clan pillow. You know, this guy is so street. Look, here's the Wu-Tang Clan. That's his favorite group. Okay, I almost believe you.
We are going to have a margin of error race in the battleground states.
Okay, how many more times can you say margin of error?
And the margin of error means that there's a margin of error.
Did he just say what I thought he said? Because this clip is going to go down in history for us.
And the margin of error means that there's a margin of error.
Wait, I got one last improvement on the pillow.
And the margin of error means that there's a margin of error.
Thank you, polling genius, for your contribution. The margin of error is the margin of error. Is the margin of error is the margin of error.
And I do think that anybody who was sitting here on a Friday and said, who had a better week in politically, Joe Biden in a battleground state a lot of the week in Pennsylvania, or Donald Trump in court? Well, you think I think we all know what the answer to that is.
Whatever he thinks the answer to that is, if he's not saying Trump did better in court than Biden did on the campaign trail, he's wrong. Scarborough essentially disagrees with you also. Watch him flub it here.
Oh, the courtroom politics have played in Donald Trump's favor.
Thank you. We'll take the win. Just end it there. Courtroom politics are in Trump's favor. It's not harming him the way they thought it would. And that's because that really is what this election's about. Like I said, it's not against Donald Trump against Joe Biden. It's Donald Trump against the state. And the courtroom is where you want to have that battle. And he comes out on the street and he shakes hands with people. He's doing great on the campaign trail. It would be better if he was in Pennsylvania, but I think Pennsylvania people are going to be sympathetic. And when Trump wraps up any of these court cases, Watch him go straight to campaign in Pennsylvania. That's what I believe he'll do.
But it's those voters that go back and forth that are going to decide these states. They don't really get polled in a way that you can see it, because it's so expensive to do it. To find enough of them to make the polls reliable costs a lot of money. So none of these folks that are polling want to do that.
So she just now gave you the reason why the most important people that we need to hear from are not being polled. She just negated all of the work that MSNBC just did, because it's too expensive to poll the people who vote flip-flop between Biden or Trump. And I only got to say, it's going to be different this time than 2020 on what people think of Joe Biden. It's not equal ground anymore. He had a clear 4 years, and there's got to be less than 4% of the people that are impressed with him and will turn to Donald Trump. If they're awake and if they're alive, and I do believe they will make that change, because Biden has only underperformed for 4 years, and people are feeling like America is about to, and the world is about to fall into ruin.
You know, I'm also fascinated by men.
I like to keep that stuff personal.
I'm also fascinated by men who voted for Biden, but who are conservative, who are Republican. Are they going to stay with Biden this next go round, or are they going to go back?
They absolutely are not going to stay with Biden. Remember, he didn't campaign. They kept him in a cellar. He only looks worse, probably 10 times worse than he did on that campaign trail. That makes everyone feel a little uneasy. So this is about the middle 4%. Probably people who dislike both Trump and Biden. Does the lawsuit really harm Trump? In the polls, it really hasn't. It's helped him. So that 4% are not going to be as angry at Trump being in what is declared an unfair court case. The general public thinks that it's politicized. Remember, even many people on the Democrat side in the middle are coming out going, this is unfair, this is unfair. That's good for Trump. Those people who did vote for Biden, Republicans, are going to come back under Trump.
Have the last 4 years been palatable for them? And so I'm curious to see if Biden's going to be able to hold on to that crucial little sliver and win re-election.
Yeah, he can't hold on to it. They're all watching him slip. The fact that she wonders if Biden can hold on to it shows her lack of confidence, saying we have a lot of reason, there's a lot of evidence that we feel like he's shaky in his boots on this, that he can't hold those voters, and that's going to put Trump in the White House. Only takes that middle 4%, guys. It's not that big of a poll, because the rest of us are so entrenched already on both the left and the right.
Yo, there we have it, guys. Coming from our friend Doug in Exile. I'll definitely be sure to leave that original video link down in the description box below for those who want to go over there and check that out. Also, you guys to go over there and show our friend Doug a bit of love. Oh my goodness, guys. There we have it. MSNBC's Joe Scarborough coming out and letting the truth out there for us, guys. Donald Trump's, the courtroom politics are working all in his favor. The polls are starting to show it. We're saying that, there is no way that Joe Biden can keep up, his measly campaign efforts with Donald Trump, who's being, politically persecuted live on camera in front of all America to see, guys. Absolutely no way that Joe Biden will be able to keep up with the likes of Donald Trump. Because we're seeing Donald Trump pulling ahead, and that's because of, these courtroom antics. What's going on, in these court cases, we're seeing, political persecution, Donald Trump being, politically witch hunted by all these rogue justices, rogue entities. We've seen it over in Fulton County, Georgia, with that corrupt district attorney. We've seen it up in New York. The state of New York is very rogue and corrupt. We've seen, not only the New York Attorney General, Miss Letitia James, coming after Donald Trump. We've also seen, District Attorney Alvin Bragg. I mean, the list just goes on with these rogue entities, these justices that have came after Donald Trump, and all for America to see and watch, Donald Trump be put up on these cases and try to fight his way out of it, all because he's trying to be president later on this year. There is no way that they can hide anymore on the left. I just believe there's too many figures on the left, that are fed up. They've seen enough of what's going on with Donald Trump. And that's why we're seeing people like Alan Dershowitz, switching from the left to the right. And not just him, a lot of big figures were saying, never Trumpers are hopping shit because of what's going on with the Biden administration, the way they've aimed at, trying to interfere with the 2024 election, bringing up Donald Trump on all these made up charges, guys. It's just so hard for people to look past what's going on, what the left is doing to Trump now. And that's why we're seeing, MSNBC hosts freaking out, the absolute meltdown. We're seeing, Joe Scarborough having to, yell and shout to try to get his point across and lie to his viewers to try to say that, you know, Biden is doing all right, and it's Trump that, you know, that should be worried about what's going on. We all know this not to be true, and so does Joe, you know, and that's exactly why we're seeing Joe, you know, owning up to it today. We're just seeing him in the most calm manner, you know, owning up to what's going on, saying, hey, Donald Trump and these, you know, courtroom politics, what's going on, these political persecution, it's only helping this guy out. There's no way this is going to hurt him. We've seen, you know, time and time again, these polls come out following developments from, you know, these court cases for Donald Trump, you know, where this dirt is coming out on these rogue justice entities have been coming after Donald Trump. You know, Fani Willis with, you know, the bribery, the misuse, taxpayer funds, hiring her boyfriend on the case. It's only made Donald Trump, you know, poll higher, losing support for the left and gaining it for Donald Trump on the right, because Donald Trump has vowed, you know, he's going to clean up our justice system. You know, all these rogue and, you know, corrupt entities that are within our Justice Department, essentially scooping all that bad and that rot that we've got on the inside out, you know, filling it in there with something that's good, you know, something that's not going to tear America down further, guys. I don't know. We've got, you know, huge developments coming out here. MSNBC is now facing reality. Now they're seeing the polls, you know, Joe Biden is not going to be, you know, climbing. This is the aftershock. You know, it's right here, you know, it's neck and neck for the time being, but I believe we'll definitely start seeing that gap, you know, begin to grow for Donald Trump. In between him and Joe Biden, weeks to come, guys, especially, you know, in those key states like Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, just because Joe Biden is, you know, still trying to get out there and mimic Donald Trump. He's way behind, you know. We're seeing Donald Trump doing this organically, where we've seen him, you know, the Chick-fil-A, stop to get him a bite of some grub, you know, end up paying for a couple people's meals, milkshakes on the house, you know, and that type of thing is what gets support for you. You know, you're not trying to force it, you know, you just come, stop and get a bite of eat, you know, and you look out for some people. I mean, people can appreciate that. You're being human. It's a real human interaction. Whereas Joe Biden, he's, you know, all scripted. He's taking this black woman up, you know, they're standing at the counter waiting to get some chicken, guys. It's just so cringe. You can see that, you know, it's also forced. None of the, you know, employees that are working are flocking to Joe Biden like we've seen with Donald Trump, with all the employees gathered around excited to meet Donald Trump, guys. Not the case with Joe Biden. We're seeing, you know, it's a standstill. We've got this one lady next to Joe Biden, you know, and she's very, you know, stiff, and it just seems like a very forced interaction. That's not going to help him or benefit his campaigning. It's time to be real, guys. You know, Joe Biden is falling way behind Donald Trump, and we can see that, you know, Joe Biden is like the little brother of Donald Trump at this point. You know, Donald Trump does one thing. He goes to that Chick-fil-A, buys all the workers, you know, milkshakes. He starts buying food on the house. We see Joe Biden, you know, falling behind him. Then we've got Donald Trump at that New York bodega, you know, after his court case, stopping to get him some snacks. And running into, you know, into the neighborhood, getting really acquainted with those who live in that district, guys. We can't see Joe Biden doing anything like that. Actually, when we see Joe Biden attempt to do things like this, you know, he gets booed, he gets, you know, harassed for trying to be out in public amongst the folks who are actually dealing with what's going on, you know, in America, the Bidenomics that is, you know, supposed to be helping America so well. We're supposed to be thriving. You know, those people are coming out and booing Biden and his Bidenomics, guys, when it's all, you know, in phase of real life. None of that, you know, scripted charade stuff that we've seen with the black woman up there at the, you know, the chicken shop. Trump is no stranger to a good old warm welcome, and then this guy Joe Biden is no stranger to getting booed off, you know, any street corner he walks on, guys. Definitely hop in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts on this. You know, we're seeing MSNBC no longer able to keep it all in. Seeing Joe Scarborough coming out and saying, hey, the courtroom antics, the courtroom politics are working in Donald Trump's favor, guys. Only going to aid to, you know, get him in that seat as president later on this year, guys. Definitely hop in the comment section and let me know your thoughts on this one. Is this going to help Donald Trump out even further, like MSNBC is saying? Definitely hop in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts. Also, make sure you guys hit that share button and share this out to as many Facebook friends as possible, guys. Share the truth. Also, make sure you guys hit that like button. It doesn't cost a thing. Hit that like button for your boy. Also, with that subscribe button, guys. We're on the road to the truth. Hop aboard for the journey. I'll catch you guys on the next week.